So it wasn't something that my brain was registering as like, hey, warning, you're being loud right now and people are noticing you. Girls, we are very, we're very feisty. We're very, very feisty. So us girls, we kind of like, you know, like to be sassy and sometimes even say more what we think, versus boys don't speak up their mind as much as girls, and we like to kind of like, we fight. If we don't think something is fair, we like to like, hey, that's not cool, we don't like that. Like today I was fighting over Airbnb not wanting to cancel us, and I'm over here like on the phone in the middle of the store, just like I think like the whole entire store heard my entire conversation. And well, in the back of my mind, I am realizing this. I am realizing that people are hearing me, and people are, well, now that I think about it, probably thinking I'm crazy. They're probably thinking all this. And yes, now that I sit down and think about that, I could have probably chosen a better spot to do this. But in my Asperger's mind, I'm thinking, you know what? I don't have time for this. I don't have time to go ahead. I don't really have time to be worried about what people are going to be thinking of me, because in that moment, all that I'm caring about is that I have an issue. I need to resolve it as fast as possible. And at the same time, I wanted to be looking at clothes while I did that. So that was it. Like, I was just in my own, I was just thinking about what I needed to do in that moment, which is not a bad thing per se, you know? It's like nobody is gonna live my life for me. Wow, the rocks just fell. So yes, maybe people were thinking, what the hell, why is she having this conversation here? Why is she being super loud? Well, I didn't need to be super loud. That's just something that I do that I don't notice when I'm doing it, and I just get excited, and I'm just a loud person naturally. But if I wasn't a loud person, then I probably would have not been loud, but I probably would have still been having that conversation in the store, because it just happened to be in the way. I'm very impulsive too, and that's chingan. My grandfather was extremely impulsive, and I think my dad is still pretty impulsive. So I don't think that's necessarily anything to do with girls, but I do know that us girls, we're a little bit more emotional and have a lot of trouble sometimes controlling our emotions, and that's definitely a girl thing. So I wouldn't be surprised if most of us, especially Asperger's ones, can be just very impulsive when we are just excited or emotional about something. So regarding the situation with the Airbnb not canceling us, she was not being very kind about it. She was all like, well, I have a strict policy and that and it's like, you know what, this is really unfair. I'm giving you more than enough time. It's 10 days away from the trip. It's gonna be holidays. I'm more than sure you're gonna get it rented. It's like, you already see that we're not comfortable staying this because of the circumstances, and you're gonna go ahead and charge us half just to cancel. That's not fair at all. First of all, it's a little room. It's not even worth that much money. It's we're getting charged more for cleaning than for anything else. So why would she? But anyways, I'm sure she can rent it. And literally, I've done Airbnb before, and when people will be kind, explain the situation, like, I would cancel them. I wouldn't be an asshole like that, especially for one day. I'm like, I'm not gonna make these people uncomfortable and force them to stay in my house just because I don't want to cancel. Okay, so I got really passionate. I got really excited, and we just happened to be crossing this at the same time. This store that I really wanted to go check out the clothes. So we got two things. Talking about being loud, I actually think that the reason why or one of the main reasons why I'm loud, it's because you know, one of the conditions or characteristics of people in the spectrum is that their voice can be very monotone, or they can be very like the volume cannot be not really control. Pretty much don't pay a lot of attention to our voice, pretty much. You know, I used to speak in a very monotone way when I was younger. I still kind of do it here and there, but definitely more when I was younger, to the point where if I was to be saying a story, it would sound so like the same, like a little motionless. It would just kind of be annoying for people to hear me just blah 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 blah, you know, sound like that the whole time. But the other thing that I do is that I speak, sometimes I'm trying to speak at a level of sound that I can hear, where I can hear my own voice without really being quick enough to realize that my voice is way past the normal limit and I am being a little too obnoxious or loud or even disturbing to others. And that's something that I notice it after the fact, after I'm already done yelling or being loud or having this obnoxious conversation in the middle of the store. That's when I'm like, oh, I did it again. But yeah, I think that's one of my symptoms. I'm sure I'm not the only one that I'm not alone when, you know, when I say, you know, this happens to me. I'm sure there's a lot of other people that also happens to them that, you know, and you're probably, you know, been having like a lot of people telling you like, hey, can you keep it quiet? You're being very loud, and that makes me so mad. I'm like, no, I'm not being loud. You're being loud. Leave me alone. Anyways, so I was being loud in the store, and
it's one of the things that, you know, if you ever see some crazy lady like me being loud in the store for no damn reason, she's probably Asperger's.
Yeah, so I was having this discussion on the phone about the Airbnb because we were trying to get a refund, considering that, you know, the situation was not appropriate to what we were looking for, and it had already been, she had a strict policy refund, and I was trying to argue that, you know, it was a bit of Airbnb's fault because of this and that reason. And then also I was trying to look for the sympathy of the host, considering that we still had more than enough time to cancel, so she should have been sympathetic for that. It's I'm sure she could rent that place, and it's just not fair for us, you know. It's a room in somebody's house, first of all, and it wasn't cheap at all. It was over $100. So,
you know, if it would have been like $50 and they would offer me 50% off that, I would have been like, cool, but not gonna waste
my time. But I got passionate, so I'm like, hey, this is not fair. So I got really passionate, and I got my female feistiness in me, and that combined with the fact that, you know, I have an Asperger's brain. So in my Asperger's brains, these were the factors. We stopped at the store. I wanted to check out clothes, but at the same time, really wanted to make that phone call now, like right now. I needed to call Airbnb and just do this right now, because I knew if I didn't do it at this exact moment, I was gonna forget later, but just not gonna do it. So I get off and I start talking. So right off the bat, like, my focus is on the conversation, but like my unfocus is on the store, where I was just browsing, looking at things, but I wasn't really paying attention to them, like only at moments at a time. But my focus was on that conversation. So all of my attention was on that, and the fact that I was being probably a little too loud or noticeable by the other people around me in the store was just not something that it was in my immediate, that my brain, so it wasn't something that my brain was registering as like, hey, warning, you're being loud right now and people are noticing you. So I guess my immediate reaction when things like that, my immediate reaction is to think, well, so if they're hearing me, so they're watching me, I'm having a situation about you know, something with whatever, an Airbnb, the bank, it could be anything, you know, that happens to anyone, so why would it matter? But then when I really think on that and meditate on that, then I'm thinking, you know, it's just one of those things that, do I really want to continue to be calling attention? I don't know, I really don't care, but I should practice not be calling that much attention. I should practice not, and I've been practicing not calling that much attention, because in this situation maybe it didn't matter, but What if it was a different situation? What if it was a party, or I don't know, somewhere where it would really, really matter. And I have done it. I have sometimes just kind of like snap at myself and just kind of like, oh, I zoned out and I take care of whatever I want to take care of in that moment without realizing that it's just not the right moment. It's just not the right time to do this. And I have done this many, many, many times. So, not that it was anything wrong what happened right now, but it just reminded me. It just reminded me that it's like, yeah, that's one of the things that I do. I do a lot. I'm trying to work on filtering that more, where I catch myself before I do it, and that way I can just be more subtle, be more assertive at when and how to handle certain situations. And the reason why I like doing that, it's because it makes me feel better. Like when I'm in a situation where like I was being loud and obnoxious and having a conversation completely inappropriate, out of place, at a certain place per se, in front of a certain group of people, and then I realized after the fact that the way I was portraying myself in front of all those people was just not a good, pretty picture. Didn't paint a pretty picture for myself. I feel bad. I feel bad after that. So in order for me to not feel that way, not feel like, you know what, Francesca, you're not doing a good job at working your way into society. You're not doing a good job at blending in society. And this is something that my parents told me a lot when I was little. Like, you're never gonna blend in society. You're never gonna be, you're never gonna shine. So you're never gonna shine in society. And I'd be like, so what? I don't care. Screw society. Who needs them? Well, we all need them. We all live in a society. So, if I want to have a business, a successful business, if I want to sell things, if I want to talk to people, if I want to meet places and have fun and go to, even just like, for example, when we go snowboarding, most of the time, yeah, we're snowboarding on our own, and I could literally get by not talking to anyone. But it's not as fun. It's cool to meet new people. If you have any questions, if you want to find out about more things, it's just nice to be able to be part of a society. And that's why it took me many, many years to learn that blending in society, it's important. It's kind of a science of its own. It's like a class that there should be in every school, pretty much. And it's just as important as, like, I don't know, like anything, like math, English, science, whatever. Social skills are very important in life itself, because let's say you know a lot about business administration, but if you don't know how to convey your message, if you don't know how to get along with others, with people around you, with your bosses, with your employees, or even people who are under you or above you or in the same level as you, if you don't know how to socialize, if you don't know how to get along with other people, express any type of message, convey any type of message, and communicate with the people around you, you're not going to succeed in any aspect of your career, let alone your life. You're going to have a lot of trouble, most likely be lonely and isolated person. And I'm sure that most of us, especially us girls, don't want that. And especially if you want to be successful in relationships, like finding a good partner. So that's why it's really important to grow as a person, to learn. It's just another aspect of life that you just need to learn. Social skills is just one more thing that, some people have it naturally, some people don't, but we all need to learn them regardless.